to the Cagesiders. Jeremy Long along with the coach, Angelo Reyes. Angelo, I know you recently got back from San Francisco. How could I tell? My God. Everywhere you go, you just adopt the culture. But San Fran's your hometown, right?
Yes, it is. I actually graduated out of Alameda, California, and been a San Francisco Giants fan all my life.
I like that.
Yes, thank you, America, baby, America. Although, just want to let you know, I flew Southwest because I would never fly United. Never fly United. That was horrible.
You don't want to be reaccommodated?
No, I do not. That was horrible.
But I love AT&T Park. It's one of the beautiful, beautiful park. I love taking in games there. So I'm glad you had fun.
Yeah,
you know who didn't have fun this weekend? The losers at UFC 210.
Oh man, actually,
and
I'm
even
a
some
loser.
even some of the winners. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, we did our whole "Who Would You Bet On" segment.
I went 3-0.
If the fans bet on Jeremy, then you guys won.
I won your money.
I lost.
I won your money.
Yeah. So he's 3-3. I'm 1-3. But let's talk about that UFC 210. It's just wild.
Well,
everything was crazy.
Yeah, it really was wild. It was a very strange event there in New York. The Athletic Commission, do they even know what the hell they're doing? I don't even know at this point. Let's talk about Cynthia Calvillo.
Okay, so
her victory over Pearl Gonzalez.
Oh man, Dana White is so huge on this fighter, guys. Right. I like her. I think she's like maybe right now starting to become the female version of a Nate Diaz or a Nick Diaz. Even at the end, she ends up saying to Joe Rogan, "I'm not surprised, MF'er." So, but I like her. I like her style. I like she has a very beast mode mentality when she gets in there. And you always get this feeling, get you on the ground, she's going to submit you. She got her second submission in a row in the UFC now against Pearl Gonzalez, who's a really great striker. So what's next for this girl? I'm thinking, how about Paige Van Zandt? Because I don't know if Paige Van Zandt is with Team Alpha Male anymore. What do you think of that? Now, I don't know, so I can't report and they say, are they together, are they not together, but Paige Van Zandt?
Well, Uriah Faber, the de facto leader of Team Alpha Male, has said that she's not with the team, but she's always welcome with the team.
Okay.
She's taking some time.
So this isn't a TJ Dillashaw
No, it's definitely not a Dillashaw, the bad blood there. Paige Van Zandt, after the string of losses and everything, she has to get back on track. She has to find the right training camp for her.
Okay.
So as a Team Alpha Male, the door's always open, so we'll just see if that. But I wouldn't mind seeing that fight.
Yeah, that'd be a good
fight, right? Seeing that fight at all.
Yeah.
What I don't want to see is a replay of Chris Weidman and Mousasi. The knee heard round the world by the referee stoppage of the whole insanity. I know it doesn't make sense because the moment didn't make sense.
Yeah, no, for me, I don't understand it, right? Because here we are, he stops the fight to ask, or because he thought it was an illegal knee, then he asks Big John McCarthy, hey, can I look at the replay? Is it an illegal knee? Big John says, no, it's not an illegal knee. And then the New York State Athletic Commission then stops the whole fight because they tell them, hey, it's against the rules to even look at instant replay. Now, first of all, let's say, Jeremy, that New York State Athletic Commission didn't say all of that, right?
Right.
He stops the fight off of a guy who did a knee that clearly hurt Weidman. Right?
Right.
How do you make that up? That's kind of like in basketball, LeBron James dunks the ball, it goes inside, and then the ref goes, oh, wait, time out. You can't count that dunk because I need to see if there was an illegal way he went in the air.
Well, I mean, that's exactly what they do because they use instant replay.
Okay.
I think it's time. I think it's long overdue for boxing and mixed martial arts to incorporate instant replays, things you can go back to. Now, how do you, like you were saying, how do you make that up? Chris Weidman didn't even know what month it was when his corner was asking him.
Right.
So he's out on his feet.
Yeah.
Okay, he's out on his feet. But how do you do that? Is it a win for Mousasi? Is it a no contest? Is that the best way to do it? I'm not sure, but we got to start progressing with mixed martial arts. Instant replay is, especially when they're talking about fingertips and fingernails and everything, his hand was on the ground, it wasn't on the ground. That kind of stuff is needed. Is it a cure-all for the sport and everything that ails it? No. Will it help? I think absolutely.
Okay.
I think it absolutely will. And speaking of, let's talk about Rumble Johnson,
Oh, man.
Daniel Cormier. we got Tailgate. We got Rumble retiring after his loss. We got the fight itself and the baffling wrestling that Rumble Johnson just wanted to bring Daniel Cormier down to the ground and try to wrestle the guy.
I didn't understand it. Did you understand that game plan?
I'm watching the entire event like this. I don't. What is this?
Now again, to be fair, we don't know. Maybe there was a game plan.
According to looking at the reaction from his team, that was not the game plan.
Okay.
It was this. Why would you? You beat Daniel Cormier all day on your feet, standing up. Why would you try to take down an Olympic level wrestler and try to beat him at his own game? I know John Jones does it, but that's John Jones.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. No. Well,
it's very baffling.
Yeah. No. All I will say about this whole Tailgate thing is, I believe that the New York State Athletic Commission should have seen that. For me, I think he was holding on it and kind of lifted himself up. I know he's not saying that he did that.
Oh, come
but,
on.
you know, you and I are going to have to experiment with it. The next time we go to the gym, when we go to Mayweather's gym, we're going to do a whole towel holding thing. I'm going to go ahead and hold it like that, and then you'll see how a pound can get
But you know what?
taken out.
That move right there is Ric Flair approved. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, baby. He's the dirtiest player in the game. I love the heel turn by Daniel Cormier. Very quickly, Lomachenko. Let's talk about it.
He's the to me, top 3 pound for pound, definitely. I know everybody here are saying it right now. He already called out Mikey Garcia, so he's willing to move up in weight to fight. I think he should stay at 130 pounds after destroying Jason Sosa. And, I mean, he was doing moves like he was making it do matador moves. He literally did this during the fight, or he hit him in the stomach one time, and he was like, ooh, that must have hurt. How crazy is that? And he actually reminds me, I know Max said he reminds him of Willie Pep, or reminds him of Pernell Whitaker. He reminds me of a Roy Jones Jr., a smaller version, but of a Roy Jones Jr., definite showman. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he does next. I hope it's against Gervonta Davis or Berchelt, but probably it'll be Mikey Garcia.
I'll take your word for it. I think we need some more. I think we need more fights on Lomachenko, because I know you get paid off every time you say his name anyway.
Every time, guys.
So there you go. Stay with us. We're going to take our first commercial break. When we come back, we're going to have more. We're the Cagesiders. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Cagesiders. Jeremy Long, along with the coach, Angelo Reyes, and we're joined in studio right now by a very special guest, the uncrowned champion.
He was the IBF 147
I think he still should be.
And I 100% agree, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Shawn Porter, who I want to say, I honestly believe he beat Thurman. I know the 3 judges scored it against my man. I 100% believe you beat Thurman. Thank you for joining us in studio.
You know what's crazy, man, is I went out there and I just did what I wanted to do that entire fight. I felt like I controlled the action. I controlled the ring. Goes on from there. They didn't call my name as the winner. The scores were, in my opinion, kind of outrageous. Turn around and Danny Garcia doesn't put up quite as much of a fight as I put up, and I think that Keith Thurman wins a split decision, you know. So I don't know, man. You just gotta take it on the chin sometimes and keep it moving. You know.
Well, I think if you guys do that rematch, we should definitely do it in the West Coast.
I
got nothing against the East Coast, but I'm just saying, man.
Me neither, man. The next fight's in Brooklyn as well. You know, I love the Barclays Center. Unbelievable venue. I love fighting there. I love going to the fights there. But at the same time, I moved out here for a reason. That's to make a name for myself in boxing. And here in the mecca of boxing, Las Vegas.
Yeah, I want to talk about that a little bit, because you're a part of so many of the local things here, like the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame, for example. Are we going to see you this year on that event?
They're growing, man. Every year it gets bigger and better. I love going to the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame events. Anytime they have me kind of like on speed dial or something like that. Anytime they have an event going on, I do my best to be a part of it. And I definitely enjoy going to the Hall of Fame. I get to meet the best boxers in the world, some of my favorite fighters in the world. Marvin Hagler was there a few years ago, met him. So yeah, I will definitely be at the event this year.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And we just had Michelle Corrales-Lewis in studio here. Always a great event. And their tickets are on sale. Just another plug for them. But,
the crazy thing to me is this is, again, the mecca of boxing has been for as long as anyone can remember.
Right.
You know, let's say 70 years, just to be on the safe side. And they're just now coming, bringing that Nevada Hall of Fame ceremony here and everything like that. It should be, you know, like I said, it's growing every year, and in a few years they're doing a terrific job with the program. In a few years, this boxing Hall of Fame here that we have in Nevada should be one of the biggest Hall of Fames in the world.
Right.
You think about all of the names who have come through here as fighters, even judges and referees, you know,
Right.
they're all being inducted, they're all being recognized, and slowly but surely this will be definitely one of the biggest Hall of Fames in the world. So I'm looking forward to it.
Now, you mentioned, you know, moving out here into this Mecca and everything. What has that done? You know, can you kind of describe to us what that's done for your training and just your whole attitude toward, you know, the sport?
I love it, man. My dad told me a long time ago when we were moving out here, he says, you know, boxing has to be your day job and your night job, meaning,
Right.
you know, it doesn't rest and you can't rest either, you know. So, of course, we pay attention to our rest and our work as well, but moving out here, boxing really has become somewhat of a 24/7 job for me. And even when I'm not training, it's very easy for me to get out to the bigger boxing events, even with the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame. I didn't even know that was going to be here when I moved here.
Right.
And they found out that I was here, invited me to one event, and it just kind of snowballed for myself and my team as well. So we always look forward to supporting any boxing event that's going on here. A lot of the big fights, Kovalev and Ward, I'm able to make
Right.
it. I made it to the first one. I'm excited for the second one, you know. So there's just a number of events that come out here, and I'm just very fortunate and blessed to be a part of them. And on top of all that, there's really no distractions for me out here, you know.
Now you're here based now. Is your gym open to the public, or is it a private gym that you're doing for you, kind of like what Conor McGregor
It really
did?
it still is a private
Okay.
training facility for myself, the Porter High Performance Center, Paradise, and Sahara. We have fans that come around all the time, and we'll either invite them in or we'll just take pictures with them, things like that. So anyone that feels that, you know, that they are pushed away because it's a private gym, you're not at all. Please come out. We'll hang out with you. We'll let you take a look at what I'm doing in the gym. We just had a few fans that were walking by. My dad invited them in, and this is the last week of camp. Nobody gets in on camp, but
Right.
you know, that's how we are as people. You know,
that's
we
awesome.
treat everyone like they're, you know, like they're the same, like we're all the same, and we try to share the love.
No, that's awesome, and I love the dynamic between your dad and yourself. I remember seeing this young man from the amateurs on. He was in the amateurs when Otto Hulton was in the amateurs, and we
Right.
would all watch Shawn all the time, you know, winning his thing there. And then his dad was always this key figure in his life the whole way through. And then they went through Wildcard Gym when we were there. And then now being here, I want to ask you and kind of let the fans know, what is that like to have had your dad be your trainer, but be your dad this whole time?
You know, you don't realize it, but how special it is. You know, for a long time, my dad trained other fighters for a long time. They would always tell me, "Listen to that man. That man is smart. He'll take you places." And I'm like, all right, whatever. You know, I didn't really understand it. You
Shut
know
up,
what
Dad.
I mean?
Yeah.
I'm 29 now. When it really started to click for me, I was probably about 23 or 24. And I'm realizing that this man that's always on my neck, this man that's always behind me, anytime I turn left or right, is really watching out for me, is really protecting me, and is really giving me his all every day, all day, every day, you know? So it's really is an unbelievable relationship that we have. You know, we have our times where we don't want to see, well, I probably don't want to see him. He always wants to see me. But we probably, you know, we have those moments where, you know, we're training and it's like just an okay day. But, you know, we always have those moments where we can look in each other's eyes and realize that we're both doing the same thing for one another. And we're really just out for one another to have each other's back at the end of the day.
Man, and this is what I was telling you when we were going to get Shawn Porter in our studio. You could feel the love from the guy, you know? Like, he's such a positive individual. You know, for me, Shawn...
I think he's the only guy that smiles more than you do.
It's crazy, right?
Right.
Now, Shawn, for me, in watching your style, I kind of compare you to how Aaron Pryor used to fight. Just perpetual motion, throwing all the time. You don't care if you get hit. You just come back even harder.
I'll stop you right there. I care when I get hit.
Oh, okay, all right. But,
Team Porter cares.
Okay.
We
don't
care when I get hit.
You show no weakness at all. When
I don't know,
doing
man.
it.
It's just it's a part of me. It's who I am. I've grown up doing this sport. Started training when I was 5. And just competing when I was 8, and I've been doing it ever since, you know what I mean? So, like I tell people all the time, man, I'm scared of spiders, I'm scared of rats, you know, if a cockroach was to crawl across this glass right here,
hell
I'm like,
no, that's of the
I have to
devil. I wouldn't be here.
I have to recognize what it is. You know what I mean? But you know, people all the time say, "Man, I don't know how you guys do it. I don't know how you get hit and yada yada yada." I'm like, I was never taught to be scared to be hit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
right.
always was second nature for me.
Yeah, right.
You know, you punch and you move out of the way. Sometimes you don't move quick enough. Sometimes you don't move far enough. You know, but in those moments where you don't move quick enough or far enough, you just gotta get ready to go and get back in there and do what you gotta do to do what we all go out there to do, which is win.
That's
know?
awesome.
That's
That's what he's going to be doing April 22nd.
April 22nd, man. You wanna call it?
Man,
you gonna win?
Showtime,
Guarantee?
Shawn Porter versus Andre Berto. Again, another very anticipated fight that I'm just
Extremely, yeah.
privileged and blessed to be a part of. I know I'm going to go out there and do my thing. We've been working hard for a long time.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. I don't like to make predictions except to say that I will be winning that fight, and I'll be moving on to
A rematch?
rematch.
There you go.
Keith Thurman for that WBC title.
There you go. I can't wait. Well, thank you so much for coming in and
got it,
joining
my
us.
man. Pleasure.
We really do appreciate
Yeah.
it. Stay with us. When we come back, we're going to have more on the show. Showtime, Shawn Porter, right? All right, we'll see you right after this break. We're the Cagesiders. All right, everyone. Welcome back to the Cagesiders. Jeremy Long, along with the coach, ANGELO, REYES, where we've got a very special guest in studio with us right now. Dan Tom from Protect Your Neck podcast.
Love
man.
that podcast.
Love that podcast.
I've been in it. I love it.
Good for you. Because what you don't love, apparently, is picking the right winners.
Oh, that's cold.
Last week in our
cold.
picks, I went 3 for 3. Angelo, the coach, went 1 for 3. You know, shame.
Controversy.
Shame on you. Shame on your family.
You cheated and you know it.
No, come on.
Ooh, he's coming
No,
strong.
see, that's powerful words right there. It's not in the rule book, right, Dan?
You ain't cheating, you ain't trying. That's what I heard. I don't know if that's
I
official.
said it earlier in the show. If you ain't cheating,
There
you
you go.
ain't trying.
There you go.
All right, so we're going to have another round of picks this week.
Okay.
This week is UFC Kansas City, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll be in Kansas City this weekend on Saturday. Demetrious Johnson actually headlining that one, defending the title.
Right. Again.
Yeah,
Looking
I
for
know.
another successful defense against Wilson Hayes. I always say his name wrong. Wilson Hayes. So let's. I'm gonna have our guests break it down first. What do you see in this fight?
On this one.
Well, we all know who the favorite is. That's, of course, Wilson. Just kidding. Demetrious Johnson. No, but yes, he is the favorite, the champion, and we know why. In my opinion, he is the best active pound-for-pound fighter in the world. He can kind of mix it up, and mixing it up is going to essentially be on the key for this whole fight, especially on the feet. It's that volume and variety. Now, even though Wilson Hayes is the underdog, there are a few key spots, which I'm going to highlight right now, where he can potentially score the upset. Now, all 10 of Wilson Hayes' finishes are by way of submission, but, you know, that doesn't mean he can't hurt someone with strikes. This is MMA.
Right.
And Wilson Hayes is a southpaw, and he has the best weapon a southpaw, in my opinion, could have, which is a liver kick. No matter how tough your chin is, the liver can shut you down. And again, he doesn't have any official stops by strikes, but some of those submissions that he's finished fights with have been set up by strikes. So if he can touch Demetrious Johnson's liver, he might be able to open his way up for a finish. But that's going to be tough because Johnson, with that volume and variety, he too will go to a southpaw stance to manage distance, which I imagine he's going to do in this fight. And when you have the two southpaws, that kind of limits that window for the liver kick. So those are the things to look for in the feet. Now on the ground, I still give the champion the edge. Demetrious Johnson, all around, wrestling top to bottom in transition. He's an amazing grappler, but Wilson Hayes is a world champion in the gi and outside of the gi. We've seen it translated well, and more importantly, he can create scrambles. So the essential thing is I don't think he can out-grapple Demetrious Johnson position for position, but if Wilson Hayes can create those scrambles with his X-guard, one of his specialties. I've actually grappled with Hayes, and I've got 50 pounds on the guy, but you know when the chef is twirling the pizza up with the pizza dough, that was me, the pizza dough that is, and the chef was Wilson Hayes. And granted, I'm not comparing myself to the champion by any means. I'm just saying this is a specialty of Hayes when you watch him grapple. I think it's these little spaces there. If you can create it, we could see some capitalization. 7 of those 10 submission wins are by way of rear naked choke. And Demetrious Johnson tends to turtle and give his back sometimes. Things to look for. Again, my pick here, I don't know what your guys are. My pick's the champion at the end of the day. But there are those key things to look for Wilson Hayes.
He is good, and he could almost sway you to pick against DJ, but my official pick for this fight, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be Demetrious Johnson Mainly because Matt Hume, in my opinion, is one of the very best coaches we've seen in mixed martial arts, and I can't go against Coach Matt Hume. So I'm going Demetrious Johnson.
Yep.
Jeremy?
DJ. I'm going DJ all the way.
All right.
Simply because you guys said it.
Okay.
I trust this man. All right, Rose, Michelle Waterson.
Rose Namajunas, Michelle Waterson.
Very
Break
quickly.
It down.
Wow, this might be the most tightest fight on the card. Stand-up wise, I love it. You know, Rose Namajunas, she comes from Trevor Whitman's school, out there in Denver, Colorado. She breathes, she binds together the traditional, Muay Thai with also kickboxing. Whereas Michelle Waterson, I've got a soft spot for karate strikers, but she's not just a karate striker. She too has embraced the art of Muay Thai as she's gotten later into her career. She's really talented. In fact, she delineates her kicks from her lead foot. You'll see more traditional karate kicks and her back power side. That's where you see the Thai kicks and the leg kicks. So it's going to be an interesting battle at range. But even though I give a slight edge as far as diversity and being the more technical striker to, yes, the karate hottie Michelle Waterson, I believe Namajunas has that key advantage at range. It's her jab, something the coach here is very familiar with. She really times it well. It's not that she just has, a 3-inch length advantage as far as her reach and a 4-inch, kicking advantage, that she knows how to use it. She will step in with her jab and keep herself long, but she will also back up when the follow-up is not there. In other words, when the opponent's counter shot threat outweighs the follow-up, she's smart and she'll back up. And when the opponent chases her, she's right there with another left hand to greet her. And I think that's going to, save her here. It allowed her to fight back into her fights with Tisha Torres, and it allowed her to stay in the fight with Karolina Kowalkiewicz. Both two close contested split decision fights. One Rose won, one she lost. I expect another close fight here, but it's ultimately going to come down to the grappling, guys. Okay.
So who's your pick?
Oh, the pick's
Very
going
quickly.
to be. Okay,
Who's your pick?
The pick's going to be Rose by decision. I don't think either girl can finish each other. They're both tough and durable.
Okay.
I think Rose has got a more well-rounded.
Coach, very
I'm
quickly.
going very quickly Michelle Waterson by finish, and I'll even say knockout.
Woo!
Michelle Waterson by knockout.
Right before we go to break,
Karate hottie.
Souza Whittaker, blind pick.
Who's your pick, though?
Oh, for
what?
Michelle Waterson, because I saw the bikini competition video.
Okay, all right.
Strong analysis.
All right, Jacare versus Whittaker.
Oh, this is my upset of the card. If you guys wanted to know, I got Whittaker here. Watch out for the left hook.
Okay, he says Whittaker. I'm going
Jacare.
Alligator Jacare Souza by submission.
I'm going Whittaker, actually. I like Whittaker. So we're going to go to break. When we come back, have a little bit more right here from the Cagesiders. Thank you so much, Dan Tom.
Thank you, Dan.
Protecting That Podcast. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Cagesiders. Jeremy Long along with the coach, Angelo Reyes. Angelo, we got some fights coming up. We got some stuff locally. PBC comes to town. Sam's Town on April 29th.
Yeah, no, that's going to be in fact, we're going to have Juan Heraldes in studio next week with us.
And if you remember an episode or two ago, we had LaTondria Jones.
Yes,
she
sir.
fights on that card.
Yes, sir.
It's going to be interesting. If you love boxing, you definitely want to come check out these Money Team fighters, see what the hype's all about, because I think they're going to deliver.
And then, of course, we had Shawn Porter in studio, and he fights. Everybody's got to watch the Shawn Porter fight again.
Yep.
For me, Shawn Porter right now, I believe, is the best 147-pound.
I
I
agree
felt
with you.
like he beat Keith Thurman. So time for you to go do your thing, my man.
Yep.
Good luck to you.
He fights April 22nd from the same building,
Yeah,
Barclays
Barclays Center.
So,
Showtime.
and then we have UFC Kansas City.
Yeah, UFC Kansas City happens
It's actually
tomorrow night.
Saturday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
tomorrow night, UFC Kansas City. We get to go ahead and check out Demetrious Johnson, Rose Namajunas, Michelle Waterson,
Right.
that Jacare. Jacare Souza. That should be pretty fun, right?
Yeah, it actually should. So another great weekend of fights coming up. But also, Cub Swanson is fighting on that card. And
No, actually, Cub fights the next week, right? The Tennessee.
the next weekend.
Yeah, the next
That's
weekend in
absolutely
Tennessee. Yeah, he's the headliner against McGregor's guy. Artem. Thank you, Artem. Yeah. So you know what'll be fun is we're gonna have Diego Magdaleno on our next show next week. We should ask him what it's like to spar and box with Cub Swanson.
we definitely will.
Yeah.
We'll get that in. Want to thank you guys for joining us. Tune in each and every single week right here on the Action Channel. Visit us, Cagesiders.com. Subscribe to our podcast. If you will, you can find it on iTunes under Cagesiders, right? So for all our guests, we want to say thank you for everyone here at the Action Channel. We'll see you next week. I'm Jeremy Long. He's the coach. We're the Cagesiders.
So you don't think the Astros are gonna win this year? 'Cause